Today is January 14th, 2024. The time is 3:21 a.m. Looking at the headlines, CNN Politics. Iowa's most important poll has set the expectations for the GOP caucuses. Former President Donald Trump looks to be on the verge of a historic victory in the Iowa caucuses. The final poll from Iowa's premier pollster Ann Selzer has Trump at 48%, followed by former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley at 20%, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is at 16%. If the final outcome Monday night mirrors the poll, Trump will have won the highest Iowa GOP caucus vote share for a non-incumbent ever. Zionist Organization of America honors Trump. Hails best friend Israel ever had in the White House. There were standing ovations in abundance at Chelsea Pier on Manhattan's West Side Sunday night as former President Donald Trump received the oldest pro-Zionist organization in America's highest honor. Morton Klein, president of the Zionist Organization of America, bestowed its Theodore Herzl Medallion on 45th U.S. President for his achievements on behalf of Israel and world Jewry. The ZOA, which celebrated its 125th anniversary Sunday, rarely awards the Herzl Medallion. Past recipients included Winston Churchill and Arthur Balfour. So President Donald Trump is the third person to receive the Theodore Herzl Medallion. This is special. This is a big special Theodore Herzl Medallion, and it was bestowed upon President Trump because of his services, his dedication. What does it say here? It says Morton Klein, president of the Zionist Organization of America, bestowed its Theodore Herzl Medallion on the 45th U.S. president for his achievements on behalf of Israel and world Jewry. He should be president in 2024. Nikki Haley to be honored by World Jewish Congress for calling out bias in UN. So what I'm pointing out is that she's running for vice president. She's also received the Theodore Herzl Award. President Trump, he got the Theodore Herzl Medallion. There's a difference here. Ron DeSantis is also running for president. DeSantis signs anti-Semitism bill while in Israel. Okay. And that's a good thing that he signed this bill into law. And then Ron DeSantis goes on to say, Ron DeSantis, there is no Israeli occupation. Popular Florida governor, 2024 presidential candidate says Judea and Samaria are disputed and Jews have a right to live there. Now, this right here is a map from the Britannica Encyclopedia. And it says, but Palestine, partition plan approved by the UN General Assembly on November 29, 1947. Now, the green areas are considered the Jewish state. The purple area here is Jerusalem district. And the gold or orange areas are the Arab states. And this area right here is Judea and Samaria. This is what Ron DeSantis is saying, popular Florida governor and 2024 presidential candidate says Judea and Samaria are disputed and the Jews have a right to live there. According to the the United Nations partition, this is Arabs' territory. Okay? And this is what coalition, this is on December 28th, 2022. Coalition deals include discrimination bill, judicial override, immigration reform. And I'm just going right here. It says incoming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu finalized his right religious coalition on Wednesday, setting out government guidelines that stress the Jewish people's exclusive and inalienable right to all parts of the land of Israel, and vowing to bolster the settlement of the Galilee, the Negev, the Golan, and Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. This is resolution United Nations Security Council, December 23rd, 2016. Guided by the purpose and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, and reaffirms, among other things, the inadmissibility of the acquisition of territory by force, reaffirming the obligation of Israel, the occupying power. I am a Zionist. How Joe Biden's lifelong bond with Israel shapes war policies. When Joe Biden met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet during his visit to Israel, the U.S. president assured them, "I don't believe you have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. I am a Zionist." The politicians and generals gathered in the ballroom of the Tel Aviv Hotel nodded in approval, according to a U.S. official knowledgeable of the closed-door remarks, even as Israel bombarded Gaza in retaliation for a devastating attack by Palestinian Hamas militants, and with a ground invasion looming. Now, Israel, this this is a resolution that was offered and rejected. And in this offer, it also highlighted all of these resolutions that Israel needs to abide by in order to achieve peace in the Middle East. And in this current conflict, it says here, it condemns all acts of violence aimed at Palestinian and Israeli civilians, including all acts of terrorism and indiscriminate attacks, as well as all acts of provocation, incitement, and destruction, recalling the need to uphold the principle of distinction. When Israel bombed the Nusayra camp, or the hospital, or any of these areas, this is northern Gaza, this is the middle Gaza, this is southern Gaza, this is Khan Yunis. These are very, very densely populated areas. How does Israel uphold its responsibility for the principle of distinction? They're taking place, these air raids. When Israel does an airstrike, they do it when it's deep dark outside. When it's dark, there's no light, there's no visibility, and they're taking aim at people from the sky with no visibility. How does Israel apply the principle of distinction, of determining who's an enemy combatant and who is a civilian? Now, they have to be held accountable for this. They have to be held accountable for this. You can't just say, yes, we're doing what we can to protect. How? How do you distinguish a combatant from a non-combatant when it is deep dark outside? Humans cannot see in the dark. It's blinding. The darkness is blinding. How does Israel see in the dark to distinguish combatant from non-combatant?